Let's talk about Greg Gutfeld, who said some awful shit about Maui, it seems.
Line is provided. If you are in a low-lying area near the coastline, evacuate to high grounds, inland or vertically to the fourth floor and higher.
The gut.
Lots to discuss on this, Greg.
Also known as Greg Buttfeld.
The politics around climate change seems to be absolving people in charge of accountability.
Well, first off, the sirens went off for incoming missiles that never came.
Yeah.
Then when they need sirens, they don't use them.
Yeah, like.
Are you laughing, you fucking freak? Are you that excited to fucking pop a joke off? 1,000 people are still lost. Holy shit.
In a nuclear disaster, are you supposed to go to higher ground?
Yeah,
That's what he's arguing.
There's a lot of...
Yeah, I think I hate the Five so fucking much. I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Five has become the most annoying program on Fox, which probably means it'll become its most successful. They'll probably put it on the Tucker Carlson timeline instead. I think it literally is the most annoying, the most unbearable, because it has Buttfeld and Jesse Waters together, and the cringe levels are so off the charts. And then when you add Judge Jeanine Pirro, that trifecta is like just nuclear waste cringe. It's the enriched uranium of cringeitopia. You have like the right level of insane, out of control, ranting and screeching. You have this smarmy, annoying, creepy Greg Buttfeld, and then you have Jesse Waters, who's like the frat bro, who's like, I don't understand anything. He's like so stupid, but so fucking smug.
Stuff going on there, including like why they waited on releasing the water and stuff like that, and a lot of it has to do with ideology. All the other problems when one water and stuff like that, and a lot of it has to do with ideology. It sounds like, and when one ideology becomes the overarching principle.
What is the ideology, man? What the fuck?
Then all the other problems underneath it become less vital, right? So you have 111 people right now, I think, have died, right? But let's focus on climate change. You see what happens there. It's like you have this horrible problem. All of these people died, but keep your eye on the big picture. The big picture is climate change. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. This is exactly the ideology behind people starving to death in USSR, dying in China. It's like focus on the revolution, focus on the great promise of communism, the great leap forward. Just keep it. Who cares if people are dying? We have stupidly made all problems, whether it's you'll see it, education and crime and the border, and most of all, mental health, secondary to climate.
What is the point he's trying to make? That like the communist government of Hawaii was too busy making everybody non-binary that they forgot that there was like a wildfire happening?
And it's the irony of this is that issue is causing mental health problems. But the issue is now.
I don't understand how this has anything to do with, okay, 111 people have died. The big picture is climate change. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. This is exactly the ideology behind people dying in the USSR and China. Focus on the revolution, the great promise of communism, the great leap forward. I don't get what this has to do with the Maui wildfires and the lack of safety nets and adequate protection. Even the fucking sirens not turning on. I guess like Republicans are basically on autopilot now. Why actually address anything when you could just do anti-communist word soup and the boomers will just respond? Like at this point, it's like listening to a dude experiencing night terrors. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever had that situation where like someone says a bunch of words and they don't really make any sense while they're sleeping and you're like, I think this person is dreaming? It's like that. He's just vomiting out like trigger words for the audience to respond to, and that's pretty much it. In a way, he's no different than the NPCs on TikTok, you know what I mean? But instead of ice cream so good, he's like, great leap forward, Maoist revolution, landlord genocide. That's what these people care about. Making your child non-binary. It's like, what are you talking about, Greg? Okay, Greg, go to sleep. Go to sleep, old man. Ice cream so good. Oblivion NPC ass, dude. What the fuck? What is he saying? What the hell does this have to do with the fucking wildfires? All right, let's hear what my queen Jessica Tarlov had to say.
So we're not predisposed to love Hawaiian Electric or whatever it was called. And obviously there was a mismanagement of the problem. That did collide with drought conditions. The soil wasn't just dry, it was drier than normal. And then Hurricane Dora was stronger than normal. Those winds that picked up the electrical short circuiting is what made it a disaster of this proportion. And that's why Lahaina is gone, which is a complete travesty there.
I don't think you can make that there's a lot of possibilities in that linkage, and I think there's a few holes in it right there.
Like what? What are the holes? Please explain to me the holes. Is this where he starts talking about Maoism?
but I'll let you go because I don't.
I appreciate that.
But there's all
And
this money, this climate change money that's not going to the adaptations, right? So let's shore up the power lines then. Let's shore up the things. And none of that is happening anywhere. It's not even happening in New York.
But there seems to be, or at least the vibe that I'm getting from the table, that there's a refusal, and you said, I'm not saying that climate change isn't real, but it is an important piece of this puzzle. I mean, we had these record heat waves, and the leaders of Republican states in the last month have all been on TV talking about it, the precautions they have to take, that they're making sure that there's water available to people. It's real.
Well, that's adaptation. That's adaptation.
But also, I don't think.
I like that there are certain aspects of the conservative circuit that move beyond global warming. The globe is actually cool to basically starting to recognize that climate change is real and have moved on to like secondary reasons as to why A, it's real, but it's good because it makes some areas more habitable, or B, it's real, but there's not really much we can do about it because otherwise we'll be exploiting the third world, which is contributing more to climate change happening or whatever, which is, by the way, not even real. But that is the Jordan Peterson argument, which is like, well, the Nigerian economy relies on oil exports. Do you want to stop them from thriving? How white Western, how Western centric and chauvinistic can you get? You want all of the Nigerians to die. Back in the day, this is the ladder of climate denial. They move the goalposts back, but are always trying to stop action. It's been established for a long time. Exactly. Back in the day, it was not real. Not real. Shut the fuck up. You're crazy. You're delusional. Now, as the externalities, as the consequences of anthropogenic climate change become more and more unavoidable, like that you see the tangible impact, because it's like, what the fuck? Why is there a hurricane in California, in Southern California in August? Why is that happening? Why is the Texas grid freezing and the power's going out for weeks? Why is any of that happening? This is not supposed to happen at all. When you start recognizing that, people are just like, okay, well, maybe things are crazy. On the one hand, you either continue going in the other direction where you're like, oh no, it's happening because of Jewish space lasers. Or, oh no, it's happening because of Chinese space lasers. Oh no, it's happening because of the HAARP program that the American military conducted. Or you have to inevitably come to the recognition that like it is a very real problem. So let's just move the goalposts a little bit and be like, yeah, it's a real problem. We want to solve it. But like also you just don't care about the other people who are suffering as a consequence of that. There's also a lot of blame shift as well. Like the gross way of pointing the finger at blame of carbon pollution on the third world, on like developing nations, claiming that they are mostly responsible for it, when in fact they make up a tiny fraction in comparison to the developed Western world, which has been at the heart of polluting the planet for a century. It's really, really messed up. That's not true though. Yeah, do you think they care about the truth, man? We're talking about people that are saying space lasers.